And welcome to the Technology Geek podcast. I am your host, Brandon Lapani, the Technology Geek. And these are all the questions from our podcast from episode 10, which aired actually today on our website, thetechnologygeek.org. And I want to thank, by the way, all of our wonderful sponsors, Audible. Which is a book listening to service. They have an app for your iPhone or Android. They're a wonderful service. And yeah, 30-day free trial offer. Visit audibletrial.com/techgeek and you can get a free 30-day trial from listening to our show. So we would appreciate that if you would go through and against audibletrial.com/techgeek. Use our promo code so we get the credit. We'd appreciate that. As well as our wonderful sponsor at AACR Store, one of the best, I guess, online eBay stores out there, and that's aacrstore.com. And again, I'll let them know that use the promo code TechGeek and we'll get the credit for it. So thank you to our wonderful sponsors. They sponsor all of our podcasts as well as all of our video segments and all that. So we want to thank them. They're a wonderful sponsor. And these are the questions from, like I said, our podcast from this past from today actually. They want to answer them here and make a wonderful help section on our Ustream site. And the first one first question we had is, what is the best time tracking program for mountain lion? We know that's a really great question. There's a lot of good time tracking programs out there. I'm not sure how computer savvy you are. FileMaker Pro is one of them. A little bit of, I'm not sure. It depends on how savvy you are. There's another one out there, also called. You can well actually no. I think you could use QuickBooks. Actually, is one option. You can use a spreadsheet. That's what I usually used to use when I used to use spreadsheet programs. It's a great way, easy way, cheap way to track time. You can use Google Docs or OpenOffice. That's an option you could use as well. There's a lot of free open source ways to do it. I'm not sure how tech savvy you are. You could make your own FileMaker Pro database. You could, make your own database in Microsoft Access. There's a lot of options for time tracking, so that's what I would recommend. The next question we had was, what can I use for offsite backup on an iMac? Well, you can use you could do, I'm not sure, if you just want to back up your pictures, your music, and all that type of stuff, you could go ahead and just use, Google Drive, download it to your machine, and have it just back up your your pictures, your documents, stuff like that. The other thing you could do is you could use Carbonite if you want to spend $59 a year. But one thing nice about Carbonite is you will get snapshots of your drive. So if you delete something, you can always get it back. You can always get different times versions of it back as well. So that's an option you could do as well. The other thing you could do, I guess there's another program out there called, you could, if you wanted to burn something to a CD or get a portable hard drive, they're pretty inexpensive nowadays, and just copy it over to the portable drive, and then put the portable drive at a friend's house or in a fireproof safe. That's another option. That's obviously it really depends on how much you want to spend. Google Drive I think might be your best option, but the bang for your buck. How should I back up my Android phone? Was the next question we had. Um, most of your stuff in your Android phone gets backed up anyway, directly up to the up to your Google Drive, I guess. Because as you know, if you know about the Android, you hook it up to your phone, and no, when you hook it up to your phone, yeah, let me try that again. Your Google email is hooked up to your phone, so all your contacts and all that gets stored up there. There's a program called Phone Backup. It's one that a lot of people really like. It'll back up all your system state, your settings, and all that. But for the most part, I would say anything, most of your pictures are going to get saved up to your G Plus, and all your contacts are going to get saved really up, and all your phone numbers are going to get saved up to your Gmail account. So I would say, go ahead with that, and you should have all you need right on the phone. The next question we had was, how can I make Windows 8 look more like Windows 7? That's actually a really easy question. We've had a lot of questions about that. Classic Shell is a plugin that most people really like. It makes it look just like Windows 7 did, and that's what I would recommend. I've actually installed that on quite a few machines myself. It seems to be the best out there. The other question we had is, my Windows 7 computer keeps rebooting. What can I do? Well, first of all, if it keeps rebooting, it's not booting into If it's not booting directly into Windows, you want to boot off the startup disk there. And what you can do is you can run a startup repair. In there you also have recovery tools. You can do a system restore while you're in your startup thing. You might also want it to disk. You might have to boot off the disk. And also you have access to the command prompt, so you can do a fix boot, or you can do a fix MBR. That'll help you fix your startup on your machine. So that's what I would recommend if you have one that's not starting. Can I get Office on the Mac? Well, there is actually an Office for the Mac. Microsoft Office 2010 comes for the Mac. The other option you could do is Google Docs if you just need to do some simple word processing, or OpenOffice is another option you could do as well. It really all depends on mostly on what you need to do. Mail merge and stuff like that, you're going to probably need Office, but there are free versions out there like Google Docs and OpenOffice that you could probably use if you really wanted to. How can I install WordPress on a Mac server? Actually, yeah, you can. There's actually something called LAMP, and I think it's LAMP or MAMP. I'm not sure. Let me just check real quick. Well, I'm checking on that, by the way. The next question we had, is there a way to fix a screen on an old laptop? What I would recommend for that is, I'm not sure how savvy you are with computers. What you could do is you could go on eBay, get yourself a parts machine. As long as the screen works, you can unhook the screen from the parts computer and put it on the other machine. Be your cheapest bet. If you go to a shop to get it repaired, you're going to spend some cash. So what I would recommend is you go ahead and you just like I say, go on eBay, purchase the screen, and then go ahead and you can go to a computer store if you're not very savvy, and they can put it on for you. Make sure you buy the screen though, because the screen, they're going to make quite a bit of money, and they're going to want to buy you a brand new one. So try to buy a used one off eBay. That's probably your safest bet. And going back to that Mac, how can I install WordPress on the Mac serve? It's called MAMP. MAMP is a plugin for WordPress. It's not a plugin. You install it on WordPress. That's WordPress's version for the Mac, and it works really well. I know quite a few school districts that actually do it, and it works really, really great. So that's what I would recommend. Like I said, that's MAMP for WordPress. And the last question we have here is, I open a program, then it crashes. What I recommend for that is I would go ahead and reboot, hit F8, and go into safe mode. See if you can open the program in safe mode. If that's the case, you might have some malware or some spyware on there. Run a Malwarebytes. You also might want to run a system file checker, sfc/scan now. Check, see if you're missing any files. You must want to check disk. You might have a virus on the machine or a corrupt file if it opens up in safe mode. If it doesn't open up in safe mode, you really have quite a problem there. You might have to take it to somebody to get checked. And like I said, those were our questions for the episode 10 Technology Geek podcast. And again, you can find all of our wonderful podcasts on technologygeek.org. And we want to thank everybody for listening. And we'd really appreciate it if you started listening to our show. And like I said, that's Technology Geek, thetechnologygeek.org. And feel free to send any questions you have through our submit forum on our site. And we'd be more than happy to answer any questions you may have on our weekly podcast. Thank you very much.